I'm CWO4 Victor Pinion, U.S. Navy retired, telling some stories of my naval career. This one is when I was stationed at the Subic Bay in the Philippines on an admiral staff. Well, my family and I had gotten involved in many of the recreational activities that were available there. We enjoyed sailing and boating, and I allowed myself to be elected as the Rear Commodore for Sail of the Subic Bay Yacht Club. Well, us at our yacht club and at the Manila Yacht Club, which was a lot of big fancy yachts, would have interports where we'd race at each other's ports. Well, for opening day of yachting season, and this is in about 1981, I think, around there, 80 or 81. They invited us to attend their opening day ceremonies. Well, the Manila Yacht Club was a big, very fancy outfit with a lot of big fancy yachts, and that opening day ceremony was huge. Big party, people dressing up really fancy. Part of this big ceremonies was that's where they commissioned their new Academy graduate ensigns for the Coast Guard, maybe their Navy or whatever. Anyway, a lot of TV stations, radio stations were there broadcasting, and the TV station had big cameras on their shoulders and stuff, you know. In any case, they had asked me to skipper a boat in a race, and I declined respectfully, you know, and then they asked John Pearson, our fleet captain, if he would crew in a boat, if he could get me to skipper it in the race. So he agreed, and he convinced me to do that. So basically they had I think at least 10 little gaff-rigged sloop dinghies. I think they were 12 feet long or so. They may have been 14, I don't know. But they were all rigged up and nosed into the pier, and the rules for racing were suspended pretty much. One hard pass thing was you could not use the motor or a motor boat or be towed by a power craft of any kind. You had to go under sail or paddle that boat or swim with a rope in your teeth towing it. But you could not have the services of any motorized craft or a motor. John and I strategized that we would run down there and get that most seaward boat at the end of the pier. That way we wouldn't be fighting the rest of those boats for free sailing room. We made it. We dumped that beer in our face, took off running. We got that most seaward boat, and away we go. We won that race. Well, the rules were there were going to be 2 races with all of the boats in each of the 2 races. And the third race was a race-off between the winners of those 2 races. Well, being how John and I had won that race, they modified the rules. It's going to be the top 4 boats in each of the races. Well, John and I didn't know it, but they had briefed these other people there, except for the winner of the other race. Their main job was to prevent John and me from winning that race. So John says, well, okay, you're a faster runner than me. We need to get that most seaward boat again. But they saw what we did, and that boat is a prize. So he said, I'll just go running and dive over the rail into the sea and swim over there and get that boat. You run around and get it because you're a faster runner than me. Well, he did that, and the water was only about a foot deep there with real gunky, soft mud. He stuck up head first in that mud and fought his way free of that. And he came up, he was solid mud from here up, and his whole upper torso and face and head covered with slick mud. Well, he swam over and got to the boat. He did. He got that in boat. And I ran around and met him there, and we get underway. Well, as we're getting underway, these other boats, to prevent us from getting in our way, do anything they could do to harass us, a boat capsized, deliberately capsized right across us forward of our mast. Well, we fought our way clear of that, and then another boat that had gotten underway, but an American girl maybe 16, 17, maybe 18 years old, dived overboard from her boat, was stealing the rudder of our boat. And I went over and I grabbed the tiller of that rudder tiller configuration, and she's already got it unclipped from the boat. I barely got it, but she's pulling at it, and so I'm kicking at her head. She let go of it, and I looked up, and here's at least 8 cameramen with those big TV cameras on their shoulders, focused in on us. I was going, oh my God, that's going to be on every TV station in the land. Well, I really never heard more about it. But John and I got underway. We were way ahead of all the other boats. And then I saw the sails of one of the little boats like ours going real fast through on the other side of some big yachts that are moored in the marina. I didn't see the boat of it, just its sails, going real fast, being towed by a motorboat. They towed it out to the job mark, which is also hidden from us at the point where we were by the big yachts, and turned it loose out there. Well, now it's way ahead of me and John. That was a violation of the rules that they had set. But John and I almost won that race. They came in probably just maybe 10 seconds ahead of us, but they won the race. So they got to keep their perpetual trophy. John and I never said anything about it. But they had thrown some like quart booze bottles, wine bottles, whatnot, they filled with drinking water, put the cap on, put them in the bottom of each one of these boats, because it's hot tropical weather, and we're dipping up that filthy Manila Bay water into our boats, and these drinking water bottles are washing around in that. Well, you get very thirsty racing these sailboats in the sun and the wind, the heat. Well, John and I would both, would take the cap off, we'd pour some water around to rinse off the knot, and then not touch it to our lips, just pour some in our mouths to get some rehydration. Well, we went on, and we finished that race, of course, both the races, and we didn't win the trophy. But we came home after that, and the next day I had real bad diarrhea. So I went to sick bay, and they gave me some typical anti-diarrhea pills, and so I took them and helped a little bit, but the diarrhea came right back, so I went right back to sick bay. The next day, they said, well, you probably have some intestinal parasites. They'd asked me what I'd been doing. So they had me poop in a specimen cup, and they looked at that under the microscope. Man, you got a belly full of parasites, hookworms, roundworms, and they come in all kinds of stuff. And he said, oh, you got a family here, don't you? I go, yeah, I do. He said, well, you got a wife and kids? I go, yeah. They probably got these parasites from you because they're very contagious. Give me these little specimen cups to take home for all my family members to fill up with a specimen. I took them home, I gave them to my wife and kids and told them about it. And the kids are, Dad, God, how do, I said, well, you squat down, you close one eye, and you take aim, and you poop in it. And you fill her up and screw the cap on. Well, I think one of my family members did not have parasites. I forgot which one that was. But the rest of them did, so they were treated, got rid of them. They'll carry on.